Hi Siri.
Sorry?
Not you.
Please repeat your request.
Stop.
System off.
Hey guys, so I'm just going to talk about a few minor annoyances this unit has. I'm going to get right into it. So first of all, the iDrive controller is not configurable, and I don't like the default configuration that it has. For example, when you pull right on the iDrive controller, it will act like a back button. So in CarPlay or wherever you are, it'll act like a back button, except obviously in the original unit. And if you hit left, it'll be like go to the main menu of the new unit, and just the same way as the menu button itself does that as well. Up and down doesn't do anything. It would be nice to be able to configure this to have something a little bit more custom. Like for example, it's really weird that right is back. I don't know why, but it is. So if anything, left should be back, at least just my experience as an iOS user. The second problem is that the screen has a little bit of a glare or a sheen to it, and that makes it a little bit difficult to see when it's really sunny outside. Now, so far, it's been kind of a gloomy spring, so I haven't had a problem with it. And on those sunny days, as long as the sun is not shining directly behind you on the screen, it hasn't been a problem. Hopefully, it doesn't become one. The third problem is that the unit doesn't go back to CarPlay after going to the original car unit. So for example, if you go change your climate controls and you want to go back into CarPlay, when you hold the menu button, it'll take you to the main menu as opposed to CarPlay. So you just have to scroll into it or that. So it's not a big issue, but it is there. If you were to get a phone call and you want to quickly switch over to there and you have to scroll through there, that might be a little bit annoying or a problem, but I haven't gotten there yet. Fourth problem is that the main menu screen is useless. It's not really a problem. I mean, you still need to access it to do settings and all that stuff, but in reality, after that, you never really want to access that screen. So, you know, it'd be nice if it was a quicker switch between CarPlay and the original unit. Kind of goes with 0.3 a little bit, but I just wish it just never really went into that screen ever. I wish it just plug in CarPlay and it goes into CarPlay, and you find that screen useless. It's just something that gets in the way of where you really want to be, which is either the original unit or CarPlay. Fifth problem is that the steering wheel voice control button doesn't really work well, in the sense that when you click on it, when you activate it, it activates both CarPlay and the original car voice control commands, even if you don't have Bluetooth paired on the original car system. Hi Siri.
Sorry?
Not you.
Please repeat your request.
Stop.
System off.
You can kind of get CarPlay Siri to do what you want it to do, but at the same time, it's picking up feedback of the other unit. The two are just misunderstanding each other, basically. So I generally don't use that, but you know, when you say hey Siri, it works just fine. The sixth problem is that the Wi-Fi CarPlay option is not really useful at all. First of all, it's really finicky, and it's unreliable, and it doesn't really connect when you want it to connect. And second of all, when you are connected, at least from what I've seen, stuttery, it's slow, so it's not something that I recommend using. The cable itself works really well. If you plug it in, it switches over to CarPlay, rarely has any problems with it. So I would suggest that. The Wi-Fi CarPlay option is really not an option at all from my experience. The seventh problem is that the sound cuts out when you go to the original car unit. So for example, if you're listening to music, you won't hear it if you go to the original car units, or if you need to change your vent controls or something like that, that will cut your music out. And I believe, I haven't really tested it, but I believe also if you're in the middle of a conversation, if you go back to the original unit, it will cut that conversation. I don't know if they can still hear you. It doesn't hang up or anything, but it definitely cuts the sound of that out. That's a little bit annoying. Eighth problem, and again an extension of the previous one, is that you have to be on AUX in order for you to hear what's going on in this new unit, meaning like what's going on in terms of CarPlay, or if you have a memory stick or a SD card plugged in and you're listening to that. And that's kind of unfortunate because, for example, and normally it's not an issue, but let's say you are listening to the radio and somebody gives you a phone call. First of all, you won't hear it. Second of all, if you do hear it, you have to scramble to switch over to auxiliary and then switch over to CarPlay to answer the phone call. If you're really quick, you could probably do it, but it's really an experiment in speed at this point. So you probably missed a call by the time you switch over. So that's unfortunate. Call them back if you want, but yeah. The ninth problem is that the original car display is stretched. So this was a 6.5-inch screen originally, and it's stretched for me. If you had the 8.6, I believe, inch screen, then you probably don't have this problem. But for me, I had the original basic crappy 6.5 or whatever it is inch screen, and it stretches it. Now normally you don't notice it in most places, but you do notice it on the main screen, the main original screen, that is. The little eye circle is not a circle, but it's an oval, an egg, or whatever you want to call it. And then you notice it also when you turn on your PDC controls and you see a car and then stretching the car. So it's something I could live with. It's not a big deal, but that's something that to watch out for as well. The 10th problem is that when you're in CarPlay, and really the only useful feature on this device is CarPlay, as I said before, when you're in CarPlay, the charger does not really charge very well. I guess it's using up some of those cables or pins on it to transfer data. Basically, the phone will be kept at its current level, maybe charge a little bit, but not by much. You have to basically not turn on CarPlay, and you can't turn it off once you turn it on, but you have to not turn on CarPlay so that it charges faster. I've noticed that if you don't turn on CarPlay, it charges faster. Something to watch out for as well. 11th problem is that CarPlay is slow when you're doing too many things. So if you're watching a video or if you're recording something, CarPlay is slow, which, you know, to be honest with you, is not really an issue because you're not really using your phone while driving, or at least you shouldn't. If somebody else is using their phone for CarPlay and they're the passenger, well, then they can just use their phone to control music and navigate and all that. The 12th problem is that when scrolling, and this is really a bizarre one, it's hard to explain, but when you're scrolling and you're scrolling in one direction, no reference to the band, but if you're scrolling in one direction, it will sometimes jump forward, and then back, and then forward, and on the opposite direction it'll do the same thing. It'll go back, forward, back, and you're really just scrolling in the same direction the whole time. So I don't know why it jumps up and down or back and forth in specific areas. So a couple of positive things about this is really just one, is that it's got CarPlay, and that has been phenomenal. That one feature by itself pretty much voids all the other problems I just mentioned, because it brings this car up to today's standards, and it really just modernizes it and makes this thing just useful. Like now I have the very primitive, basic, archaic CCC system, 6.5-inch screen, no sat nav, no music capabilities on it except obviously the radio. So it's nice to be able to make phone calls and all that stuff and listen to music and whatnot. That's pretty much it. If I come across anything else, or if you have any questions, or if you want me to test something, just please leave me a comment. I will keep using this unit as usual. I really highly recommend this unit if you are moving from something primitive as me. If you have a CIC, I think CIC with Bluetooth music capabilities, I think you can get a MMI unit instead of this, which might be a better option because you're not going to have some of those weirdnesses, I would say, that this unit comes with. But if you are in this kind of more primitive state like me, that you have this primitive CCC system, then I highly recommend this thing. Or if you have a E83 and I think you can replace your sunglass holder, that ugly thing, with an actual screen and an iDrive controller. You lose your cup holder if you do that, but there's that option as well. It's definitely worth looking into, and definitely, in my opinion, purchasing this unit, even the cheapest one that has CarPlay, the one I got. At first, I was very skeptical about this unit. I felt like, oh, it's going to be like a piece of crap, but I'm quite surprised by it, and I'm quite happy with it. At least it does what I want it to do. It works well for me, and I think it might work well with many of you as well. So give it a shot, and if you like this video and you want to see more content like this or anything specific, send us your comment. If you don't like this content, please leave your comment also. Just let us know what you guys want to listen to and hear and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the next video. Take care and have fun modding your car. Starbucks.
One option I see is Starbucks on Maple Road Northwest. Let me know if you want to hear the whole list.
Hey Siri, play Bobby Bazzini.
Okay, here's Bobby Bazzini.
Named in his honor, thereby creating the month of August. And this followed July, which had been named for Julius Caesar. And by the time of Octavian or Augustus, the terms Rome or Roman no longer meant the city of Rome itself. It now referred to the entire Roman Empire. And by the 3rd century, every free inhabitant of the empire received Roman citizenship. So Rome started to become a very general term for things associated with the empire itself.
Hey Siri,
After the death of Caligula, it
take me to Shell.
One option is Esso on 43 Avenue Northwest. Let me know if you want to hear the whole list.
Claudius became emperor, and it was Claudius who once again looked to Britain as a possible location for Roman conquest. And one thing to keep in mind about Claudius is that he had been very sick as a child, and he was still frail.
Starting route to Shell. At the lights, turn left onto 38 Avenue Northwest.
When an emperor conquered a foreign territory,
Red light on speed camera ahead.
himself was the conqueror, and it gave the emperor across the sea, and even Julius Caesar.
I just wanna take you out of this time.
Hi Siri.
Sorry.
Not you.
Please repeat your request.
Stop.
System off.
Hey Siri, what's the weather?
Sorry. Please repeat your request.
Cancel.
System off.
Cancel.
On it. Still working.
If you met me today, I would always choose having such a cognac, dreaming about way back. Can't forget the day you walked out. We would watch the sunrise in the starlight. Yep.
Hey Siri. Play Luke Combs.
Now playing Luke Combs.
17, you don't think that much about life. You just live. It's beating in this guitar. Pick myself up.